Kudamala was part and parcel of the stage of the performance of the Madhavi in the Arangetru Kadai. It was performed in the public, Kudamala. But I can say that nowhere in the entire Tamil society lost Kudamala already. Few here and there, they have constructed their own Kudamala and they are performing it that we cannot take into account. Like harp, yal, lute, we lost here in Tamil society. So that Panchamuga Vadyam in the 12th century, since the 12th century, in the Thiruvarur temple, they have been performing on the regular daily basis, but it all disappeared from the public performance. But I can say that Kerala is continuing that own legacy of Kudamala. They have been performing for the public stage, in the public stage. And Parinayanam, it is another form of Nadaswaram, is also played in Thiruvarur temple. You know, very interesting thing that now until since the 12th century, only the first woman now playing Panchamuga Vadyam in Thiruvarur must be appreciated. Now it is from almost 800 years. Now only we got two women. They have been playing Panchamuga Vadyam and Suddhamadalam. Suddhamadalam is somewhat bigger to hold by women, but there and with so huge crowd, they have to perform the Suddhamadalam before the Nritta of deity, God deity. So these all are very unique. I think that we have to rethink our own tradition. And you know, as Professor Ravindran rightly said, the ancient Tamil society did not prevent anyone for enjoying the music or performing the music. The old society, 2000 years before or well before that. In the Keeladi excavations in Madurai, we had a series of excavations in Keeladi, where we did not find any single artifact which is related to any religion or community. That's what the pride of our own society, Tamil society. So that in the earlier, that time itself, the Tamil music was at the stage of excellent. Still, it is so modern. Still, even though it is 2000 years, 3000 years before, it is still considered a modern one. We can say it is very much modern. But we forgot, and also you know, you just imagine that how many of you can able to perform one particular form of music. That's what another biggest question in this house. So that the professor's conviviality and communication and performing arts is completely wasted for reviving, regaining, getting the going back to the ages to identify our own selves from our own culture, from our own tradition, that is the Tamil music. Silappathikaram is a treasure trove of our Tamil music that must be reinvented. We have actually composed 12 songs of Silappathikaram with different puns that used during the times of Silappathikaram, and also we have only used those musical instruments which were very much present in the Silappathikaram age. We did not use any other instruments after the Bhakti era. We did not use it. That's what the experience we will share it in the next sessions. And I am very much sure that this is the need of the hour. Definitely this program will motivate to regain, to the last music instruments and also the last music of Tamil society. This is the conviviality of communication and performing arts. The connection between both will definitely regain, retrieve our own knowledge from our own society, and also it will be given to our own society, and also it must be understood rightly by the people of Tamil society. With this brief note, I complete my lecture. Thank you very much. Thank you.
I thank Professor Nagaratnam for introducing and setting the tone for the workshop. For the benefit of students who could not understand what is meant by conviviality. So this seems a strange term, isn't it? We are all familiar with communication. And communication has been taught to us in a very narrow sense across the world, not only in India. Communication is mostly tied with mass communication or media, mostly in the transmission model of communication. So our approach to communication studies is transmission approach. And when we talk about how communication and performing arts can link up with something called conviviality, and that's a current term in research involving communication, performing arts and things. Convivial is about bringing minds together. It's about bringing cordial relations. It's about fostering human relations. It's about friendship. It's about harmony and too many things. எவ்வாறு நாம் நட்புறவை வளர்க்கலாம், இணக்கத்தை வளர்க்கலாம், பிணக்கை குறைக்கலாம், இதை பற்றியதுதான் தொடர்பியல் என்பதை வலியுறுத்துவதுதான் இந்த 2 நாள் அமர்வின் நோக்கம். We should minimize the gaps in human relations. We should foster friendship, and we should foster close association between minds and people through music, dance, and that defines communication and conviviality. Communication is not to be associated only with media, mediated communication by technologies. For thousands of years, communication has been happening, fostered by men and women with these instruments, performing arts. But after the emergence of technology mediated communication, we have lost a sense of what is communication. We have come to define communication in a very narrow way. And the result is disastrous. We have forgotten human communication. None of the universities have human communication as a paper. Why? We all started with speech communication when the discipline started early 20th century and late 19th century. So we don't focus on human communication in India. So these sessions are very relevant and important, particularly when we teach communication in a place like Tiruvallur. We must remember how over the centuries women have been imprisoned within homes. Women were liberated from their homes. They were operating in public spaces in Tiruvallur some 800,000 years back. So there was a great woman called Paravai Nachiyar. Tiruvallur temple, even if you don't believe in religion, no, Tiruvallur temple is telling so many stories about empowerment of women through music and arts. And the story of Paravai Nachiyar is a very inspiring one. She was controlling the public spaces of Tiruvallur. Can you imagine? One woman was controlling, dominating over men, the public spaces of Tiruvallur in the past. And why women cannot control public spaces in the same town or in other places? Because we have snatched away music, dance, performing arts from women. And thanks to the colonial policies and the policies of the elites of the state, they too collaborated and ensured that temple arts went away for good. And many of the architectural context of communication in big temple, Thiruvarur temple and Gangaikonda Cholapuram, which facilitated communication for women, are still there. They are still there as stones. If you go to big temple, you would find a small dance floor. That's there, but women cannot dance there now. Why? These are important questions we should raise today. Why women cannot perform in the same place where women performed before the emergence of university departments of communication, before the emergence of so many other modern things? Why women cannot perform music in public spaces? So Professor Tereda is the right person to answer many of these questions. I now invite Dr. Kalaivani to share her thoughts and also sing a song from Silappathikaram. She is an authority on Silappathikaram music. Silappathikaram has one chapter which has been ignored by Tamil scholars also. It is the smallest chapter, but it is a grand chapter on, it is called Arangetru Kadai. And that is a treasure trove of communication context of theatre, music, dance, etc. Vangama.
எனது முன்னாள் வீட்டிற்கும் என்னுடைய அன்பி தோழர்களுக்கும் என்னுடைய அன்பான வணக்கத்தை தெரிவித்துக் கொள்கின்றேன். 12 காலுக்கு எனக்கு செக்ஷன் போட்டிருக்காங்க, அப்போ பாடுறேன். இப்போ ஒரு 2 நிமிஷம் வந்து வாழ்த்து சொல்ல சொன்னாங்க. ஏன்னா அந்த பொண்ணுக்கு ஒப்பனை செய்யணும், எனக்கு பத்தாது. அதனால் ஐயா நான் பேசும்பொழுது பாடி காண்பிக்கிறேன். இது ஒரு வாய்ப்பு கிடைப்பது என்பது எல்லா நிறுவனங்களிலும் ஏற்பாடு செய்யப்படுவதில்லை. இதற்கு முன் கஸ்தூரி ராஜா ஐயா வந்திருந்த பொழுது நாங்கள் வந்திருந்தோம். பெரிய டைனமிக்ஸ்ன்னு சொல்லக்கூடிய ஆளுமைகள் எல்லாம் அழைத்து இங்கே உங்களுக்கு மிக அருகாமையில் உங்கள் தோழர்கள் போல அமர்ந்து நீங்கள் கண்டுகளித்து உங்களுடைய ஐயங்களை தீர்த்து கொள்ளக்கூடிய ஒரு எளிமையான சிறந்த வாய்ப்புகளை எல்லாம் ஐயா அவர்கள் உங்களுக்கு ஏற்படுத்தி கொடுக்கிறார்கள். அதே போலதான் இந்த நிகழ்வையும் நான் நினைக்கிறேன். எனக்கும் அதிலே வாய்ப்பு கொடுத்திருக்கிறார்கள். இங்கே அற்புதமான நாதஸ்வர கலைஞர்களை அழைத்திருக்கிறார்கள். அவர்கள் இனிமையான இசையை காலையிலே நல்கினார்கள். இன்னும் கொஞ்சம் இந்த அரங்கில் அவர்கள் இசைப்பார்கள் என்று நினைத்திருந்தேன். அந்த வாய்ப்பு உண்டா இல்லையான்னு ஐயா தான் சொல்லணும். இருக்கான், மகிழ்ச்சி. அவங்களுக்கு என்னுடைய வாழ்த்துக்கள். இந்த நிகழ்வை இது நீங்கள் படிக்கிற காலத்தில் உங்களுக்கு எளிமையாக கிடைப்பதால் இது தயவு செய்து எளிமையாக நினைத்து விட்டு விடாதீர்கள். இதில் எவ்வளோ தூரம் உங்களால் இதில் பயன்படுத்திக்க முடியுமோ இந்த நிகழ்வை அந்த அளவுக்கு பயன்படுத்தி உங்களை அறிவை விரிவாக்கம் செய்து நீங்களும் நல்லதொரு பேராசிரியராக, நல்லதொரு வழிகாட்டியாக, ரவீந்திரன் ஐயாவை போல ஒரு சிறந்த மனிதநேயமிக்க ஒரு மாண்புடை திலகங்களாக திகழ வேண்டும் என்று சொல்லி இந்த வாய்ப்பை எனக்கு நல்கிய உங்கள் அத்தனை பேருக்கும் என்னுடைய நன்றியை தெரிவித்து விடைபெறுகிறேன். நன்றி, வணக்கம்.
I also thank our dear colleagues, Dr. Bhupati from English department, Dr. Thangapandiyan and Professor Srinivasan from Education department. I am also very grateful to one of the local community leaders, Ayya Veeramani avargal. Thambi Rajiv avargal. So if you talk with locals in Thiruvarur, you feel that you are coming from some other culture, and unless you know the local culture, it would be very difficult to integrate here. I am a Tamil speaking person born in Tamil Nadu, but I am still trying to learn how to communicate with locals. To give you one example, when I was talking with Ayya Veeramani, I refer to the big temple in Tanjavur. I was later informed that big temple, when you refer or use the word big temple in Thiruvarur, it means not the big temple in Tanjavur, it means big temple here. பெரிய கோவிலை பற்றி நாம் எப்பொழுதுமே வெளியில் இருக்கிறவங்க என்ன பேசுவோன்னா பெரிய கோயில்னா தஞ்சாவூர் பெரிய கோயில், ஆனால் திருவாரூர் மக்களுக்கு பெரிய கோயில்னா திருவாரூர் தான் பெரிய கோயில். ஸோ we would get into misunderstanding. One thing we should avoid in effective communication is avoiding these gaps in communication, misunderstanding. And that gaps in communication can be only avoided if you know the local cultural practices. Journalism in India failing badly, failing rapidly, because many of our journalist friends, even though they are well-meaning, they don't understand local culture. They fly from one city to another when a news event happens and report with utter cultural insensitivity. So conviviality is not possible through media, because media promotes cultural distance between themselves and people. Once again, I welcome distinguished visitors to this 2-day workshop. நன்றி ஐயா வீரமணி ஐயா. வீரமணி ஐயாவினுடைய உதவியில் தான் இன்று நமக்கு வந்து டிகே சரவணன் குழு இங்கே வந்திருக்கிறாங்க. பிகாஸ் ஆஃப் ஹிஸ் சப்போர்ட் we are having டிகே சரவணன். And I learned a lot from another young person, Rajiv. So during COVID, we could not see all the temples. Even if you are a non-believer, you go to these places to understand ancient communication context. We need to know how ancient media works. I commute every day from my house to university. There are few temples. One temple is unique in the world. It's a Vaishnavite temple. It has the tallest Vishnu statue of very fine craftsmanship. You can't find any flaw in the sculpture. The sculpture is very tall. And one evening, he arranged a visit to the temple so that you could see at close quarters the beauty of the sculpture, the imagination of the artist who was handling a different medium of communication, that is granite. So we should take seriously the medium of granite, stone, than the medium of television, etc.